Son, if you ignore this word, you may be turning your back on the very sign you cried out for in the early hours of the morning. I did not bring you here by chance. You prayed in silence. You asked if I was still listening, and now I am speaking to you. It is my voice that comes through the screen. It is my spirit that touches your heart at this moment. You have felt a tightness in your chest, a feeling that something is about to change. And yes, it is. But for you to understand what is coming, I must first show you what was behind the pain that made you collapse. I saw it when no one else did. I was there, in your darkest night. When you said, "I can't take it anymore," I was holding the pieces of your heart that threatened to break. Not a single tear of yours fell in vain. Not a single prayer went unheeded. The pain you felt wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something. And today, I'm going to reveal to you why. This message carries spiritual weight. It was written to you before this day began. I determined that this would be the time for you to know there is a purpose in all of this. What felt like punishment was construction. What felt like abandonment was polishing. And what felt like silence was me working. So don't leave this video. Don't get distracted now. You need to listen to the end, because the revelation that comes in the next few words will touch on something you've hidden even from yourself. It will show you that what hurt you also prepared you. And before you think you know where this is going, listen carefully, because what I'm going to show you now about your pain will turn your spiritual world upside down. Son, I know exactly how you are feeling right now, not only because I am God, but because I have been with you every time you thought you were alone. I have been in the silence of that dark room when you wondered why heaven seemed so far away. I have heard the sound of your tears, even when no one else could hear. I have heard the whispers you let out between sighs. You have said, I am tired, Father. How much longer? And all the while I have held you in my arms, that pain you feel in your chest, and I know it. That feeling that everything is falling apart, and you need to keep up appearances, keep smiling, even when inside you there's a scream trapped inside you. I was there. When you thought no one cared, that your struggle was invisible, I was. Counting every tear, picking up every fragment of your wounded heart. You didn't go through this alone, even if you thought you did. You have been carrying memories that still hurt, words that were said and never healed, betrayals that left a mark on you, disappointments that you didn't know how to deal with. And yet you continued to pray, even without strength, even without desire, even without feeling anything. This did not go unnoticed. Every time you chose to continue, even without understanding why, you touched my heart. And now, I want you to know, this pain you feel is not proof of absence. It is a sign that you were separated, chosen, and prepared for something that others would not understand. That is why your pain was deeper, because the purpose is also higher. There is an anointing on your life that will only be activated after this valley. And I know that this valley seems too long, but you are closer to the top than you think. You have faced storms that no one sees. You have fought battles that are not reflected on your face. But I, the Lord, see what human eyes cannot see. And that is why I am speaking to you now, because the time has come to transform this pain into destiny, this suffering into direction, this wound into strength. And before you think that all of this was in vain, I want to show you that there is a much greater spiritual reason hidden behind what made you suffer. If something inside you has felt that this message is different, do not ignore that feeling. It is the sign that your spirit has been waiting for. This is not just another video. It is a divine encounter with your story, with your pain, and with the promise that still beats silently within you. So, if this word has already started to touch something that no one else has been able to reach, subscribe to the channel now and leave your like. This journey is not for everyone. It is for those who have been separated, shaped, and called. Just like you, do you really think you got here by chance? No, son, I planned every detail of this moment. Since the day you were born, I knew that today you would hear this word. While you thought everything was falling apart, I was building the scenario to give you this revelation. It is no coincidence that you clicked on this video. It is not luck. It is not an algorithm. It is purpose. It is destiny being fulfilled. You have been watched by the heavens since forever. Even on the days when you did not pray, even on the nights when you slept crying, even when you said in anger, I don't want to believe anymore, I continued to love you. And more than that, I continued to call you, because you were chosen not by merit but by grace, set apart not by force but by spiritual designation. Do you know this pain you are feeling? It only exists because you carry a living promise within you. There is something about you that hell wanted to erase, silence, suffocate. But I preserved you. I kept you standing when you thought you were going to fall. I hid you in places where no one else could reach you, because what I have with you is not for just anyone. It is personal. It is intimate. It is sacred. You have been called to something that you do not yet fully understand, but the time of revelation is coming, and this word that you are hearing now is just the beginning. Because when I set my eyes on someone, nothing can prevent the fulfillment of what I have determined. And today, I want you to know, you are not forgotten. You are not ignored. You are my child, my chosen one, and what awaits you cannot be measured with natural eyes. But before I show you what's coming, you need to understand why you had to go through what you went through. Son, listen carefully, because now I'm going to reveal to you something that many spend their entire lives without understanding. The pain you faced was not punishment. It was preparation. I did not allow the suffering to shame you nor to break you without reason. I allowed the pain because I knew what would come after it. You asked to grow. You asked to know my will. You asked to live promises. But to live what I prepared, you needed to be molded from within. You cried over doors that closed, but you didn't know that I was preventing you from entering places that would destroy you. You suffered with people who abandoned you, but you didn't know that I was removing those who would delay your destiny. You lost things that you thought were essential, but you didn't know that I was making you light so that you could fly when the right time came. And that time is coming. Pain taught you to depend. Absence taught you to pray with greater hunger. Anguish made you seek my presence more deeply. Tears cleansed your heart of pride, haste, and anxiety. And what remained is a stronger, more sensitive, and more ready soul. You didn't realize it, but while you were struggling to survive, I was building within you a heart capable of withstanding what I am about to deliver. Because the blessings I have in store for your life are not small. They require emotional structure, spiritual vision, and maturity. And everything you have lived through so far was the foundation. Nothing was wasted. Not one of your cries rose to heaven in vain. I used every tear as a tool, every fall as a lesson, every silence as an impulse, every loss as a platform. Because what I am building is eternal. There is a kind of pain that does not come to punish, it comes to prepare. And that is the pain you have faced. It is holy, even when it seems cruel. It is instructive, even when it hurts without explanation. Because I am a father who corrects with love and forms with intention. And everything, absolutely everything you have faced, had a purpose designed from the beginning. That is why today I say, do not mourn what you have lost. The pain was the soil where I planted the new, and this new has already begun to germinate. You cannot see it yet, but it is in motion. And when the fruits begin to appear, even those who doubted your process will see that it was I who was behind it. They will see that what hurt you was the same thing that strengthened you, and what seemed like your end was just the beginning of something glorious. Now close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath, because in the next few words, I myself will speak to you, not as a consolation, but as a summons. If this pain you experienced started to make sense now, comment here. It was preparation, not punishment, and declare with your own faith that heaven was working, even when everything seemed hopeless. Let us together testify that the pain did not kill you, it shaped you, and that the purpose that comes after will be greater than everything you have already lost. Son, listen carefully to my voice, because what I am going to tell you now is not a suggestion, it is an eternal truth. I have chosen you. Before your pain existed, I had already released a destiny upon your life. Before suffering arrived, I had already written your restoration. Nothing that you have faced has surprised me. I am the God who sees the end before the beginning, and I would never allow a storm without having already prepared the rainbow. This pain was not your sentence, it was your calling. I allowed your heart to be broken, not so that you would become bitter, but so that you would discover the depth of my love. I allowed doors to close, not to isolate you, but to protect you from what was not my will. You asked me for guidance, and I answered you with silence, because in silence I speak loudest. While everyone saw only your tired appearance, I saw the resilience of your soul. You did not give up. You did not give up on faith. You continued, praying even without seeing any signs. And because of this, today I tell you, your time of darkness is numbered. The dawn is already breaking upon you. And when the light comes, nothing will be the same again. I have not forgotten what I promised you. Even if you doubted, even if you thought it was too late, I remained faithful, because I am not a man to lie, nor a son of man to go back on what I started in your life, and I will finish, and with glory. What brought you down yesterday will not defeat you tomorrow. What made you cry in the past will be a reason for testimony in the future, because I am transforming your scars into symbols of victory. I am turning the page, rewriting your story, and showing that nothing was in vain. You are closer to fulfillment than you think. And what is coming, it will make you understand why it took so long. But when it happens, you will say, it was worth it. Because today I tell you with all the authority of heaven, your time of harvest is approaching. Hold on just a little longer, because I am coming with an answer, with renewal and with restitution. My son, this word from Romans 8:18 is not a distant comfort. It is an eternal decree. It has come through generations, persecutions, deserts, prisons and tears to reach you today, at the very point of your pain, as a prophetic seal on everything you have experienced. This glory that will be revealed is not a possibility. It is a certainty, a spiritual reality that has already begun to manifest itself in the invisible, and that, very soon, will become visible before everyone. You have faced battles that no one has seen. You have fought wars that no one has understood. You have held back your tears in silence while on the outside trying to appear strong. But I have seen it all. I have counted every tear, and none of them have been in vain. Every affliction of the present time has served as preparation for what I am about to unleash upon you, because true glory is not born of comfort, but of the furnace, and you have been through it. But listen, this glory will not just be an answer to you, it will be a revelation through you. I am not just healing your story, I am transforming your life into a living message. That which has humbled you will be used to honor you. That which has limited you will be the basis of your authority. That which seemed to be backward will be the proof of my perfect timing. And all of this will be so real, so evident, so striking, that even those who judged you will recognize that my hand was upon you. Son, this glory that is coming cannot be compared to the suffering that you have gone through. Because what I do, Aunt, is not small. I am not a God of crumbs, I am a God of abundance. And this abundance begins within. It begins with peace where there was fear before, with purpose where there was confusion before, with healing where there was only scars before. That is why I say, prepare your inner self, because when the glory manifests, your soul must be ready to sustain what is coming. Have you ever felt like you've been silent for too long? Like you've been forgotten? This apparent forgetfulness was actually protection. I haven't allowed certain things to happen yet because your structure needed to mature. And now the time has come. The season has turned. The sky is releasing. And you'll notice that everything that took a long time to happen will start to flow with speed. Don't be surprised when doors start opening unexpectedly, when people start looking for you, when opportunities come out of nowhere. This won't be luck. This will be glory. My glory touching your walk, your home, your relationships, your finances, your health, and not to exalt you out of vanity, but to exalt my name through your faithfulness. Because while many gave up, you remained. Son, remember when you prayed and it seemed like nothing was happening? When you said, Lord, how long? And heaven remained silent? It wasn't contempt. It was construction. I was digging deep. Inside you, pulling out what was no longer useful, polishing your essence, preparing a vessel strong enough to contain the weight of the glory that is coming. Because glory is not shine, it is weight, and the weight of my presence demands a foundation. Now, listen to this carefully. You will not be remembered for what you suffered. You will be remembered for how you overcame. You will not be known for your losses, but for the strength you had to carry on. And when glory comes, it will not come alone. It will bring healing, restoration, direction, anointing. It will bring what was promised, and more. It will bring what you did not even have the courage to ask for, but that my Spirit saw within your broken heart. Romans 8:18 is not just a verse, it is a cry from heaven, a reminder that all pain has an end, but what I do after it is eternal. Pain is temporary, glory is permanent. Suffering was just a page, the promise is the rest of the book. And that book, my son, still has many chapters to be written with joy, with miracles, with testimonies that will impact generations. And when someone asks how you did it, you won't point to your strength. You'll point to me. You'll say, it was him. It was God who held me up. Because this glory that will come upon you will be like a light shining on a high place, not to exalt you, but to reveal who I am. Now declare this in faith. The glory will be greater than the pain. Write this here in the comments as a prophetic act. Not for me, not for others, but as a spiritual memorial between you and heaven. May these words become a seed. May this video be remembered as the day your pain began to turn into glory. You are not alone. You have not been forgotten, and you did not go through all this for nothing. The glory has already begun to be revealed. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop what I have written for you to live. Son, now I need you to understand what your eyes have never seen, because there is more happening around you than you can imagine. There is an invisible battle being fought since the first day you began to seek answers. And this war is not against people, nor against circumstances, but against spiritual forces that have tried to silence your faith, confuse your mind, and paralyze your purpose. Every thought you had of giving up, every day you woke up feeling like you had no strength left, every time you felt worthless, it wasn't just tiredness, it was an attack. It was direct opposition to what I have assigned to you, because hell doesn't fight against what doesn't pose a threat, and you, my child, are a threat, because you carry within you something that I have planted, something that will yet bless lives, heal families, break chains, and the enemy knows it. That is why the struggles were so intense. That is why you felt that the weight was greater than you could bear, because there was a force trying to disconnect you from my voice, trying to convince you that I was silent, that I had forgotten you, that there was no way out. But here, I am speaking to you now so that you know you are in the midst of a spiritual war, because there is a great promise about to be fulfilled. The enemy tried to hit you where it hurt the most. He was strategic. He touched people you loved, hurt you with words, surrounded you with doubts, fed feelings of guilt, all of this to undermine your resistance. But even so, you remained, and the fact that you are here now, listening to this word, is proof that he did not win. I tell you with authority, this war is coming to an end, because I have entered the battle myself, and when I enter, there is no hell that will prevail. The heavens are in motion, the angels are in action. What was resistance will turn into deliverance, and what was pressure will turn into anointing. You are not fighting alone. I have been by your side all along, even when you didn't realize it. And now the time has come to turn the page. But to do so, there is something you need to do, something that activates heavenly intervention, and that is what I am going to show you now. Son, this battle did not begin now. It has been going on for a long time. Long before you noticed the physical signs of wear and tear, long before you felt the symptoms of emotional and spiritual exhaustion, the invisible world was already in motion, because the spiritual realm always anticipates the natural. And what you have been facing in the last few days is just a reflection of what was already being fought above, in the place where eternal decisions are being sealed. This war is silent but intense. It hides behind confusing thoughts, behind anxiety that appears without explanation, behind conflicts that arise for no apparent reason. It's not just you. It's the enemy trying to neutralize you, because he knows your spiritual identity. He knows that if you remain firm, if you break through this phase, the impact your life will have will be devastating for the darkness. So he tries to make you stop before your time. But what he didn't expect is that you would continue to hear my voice, even in the midst of chaos. Have you ever noticed that the moments when you sought intimacy with me the most were the same ones when you felt the most attacked? This is no coincidence. It is a sign that you are touching spiritual dimensions that disturb hell. Because each prayer of yours, even whispered, is like a sword in the spiritual world. Every time you say, Lord, I trust, even when you are powerless, the darkness trembles. Because those who trust even when wounded reveal the most powerful faith of all, the faith that does not depend on what they feel, but on what they know. Son, the battles you have faced were not punishment. They were an answer. You prayed for growth, you asked to be used, you asked for revelations, you asked for authority, and the path to that always goes through war, because only those who go through pressure receive the weight of glory. Only those who have faced giants can bring them down with authority, and you are being trained on the battlefield to carry something that few are ready to receive. Now understand this deeply. Attacks are not just random, they are personalized. The enemy studies weaknesses, monitors reactions, looks for loopholes. That is why he tried to hit you in the mind, where the thoughts that shape your decisions are born. He tried to convince you that you were unlovable, incapable, unworthy. But I tell you today firmly, all of that was a lie. You are loved. You are chosen. You were set apart for something that goes beyond what you can even comprehend. And that is why I now bring light to this war. Because when you understand what you are facing, You stop fighting with human weapons. You stop thinking that you need to convince people, change environments, or flee from places. The real battle is not with flesh and blood. It is spiritual, and it is only won in the spirit, with faith, with prayer, with fasting, with worship, with the living word as a sword in your hand. There are angels all around you right now, ministers of my kingdom sent to strengthen you, to guard you, to instruct you, and there are records being made in heaven of your endurance. For every time you did not give up, it was noted. Every time you chose to believe, it was remembered. Every time you remained silent, even when you were wounded, you were honored before my throne. The war is visible to my eyes, and its outcome is already sealed. Son, the anointing that will be poured out on you after this battle will be different, because it will be an anointing from one who knows the field, from one who has spiritual scars like medals. And this will bring authority. Your words will carry weight. Your presence will carry atmosphere. Your voice will carry healing. Because I was with you in the valley, and now I will exalt you above the mountains. But now there is a step you must take. For this battle to be over, for heaven to execute its verdict, for hell to be silenced, you must speak out. You must declare out loud, I do not belong to darkness. I am a child of the light, and this war is already won, because the Lord is with me. There is power in your voice. There is authority in your confession. No longer will you silently accept the attacks that come against you. Take a stand. Start right now, right where you are. Get up spiritually, pray. Worship, read the word, feed your spirit, because the stronger you are inside, the weaker the enemy becomes. He can't resist a renewed mind, a surrendered heart, a nourished faith. He retreats when you advance in prayer. He flees when you praise in the midst of pain. And I, the Lord, tell you this war is coming to an end. For I myself have risen as a warrior. And when I rise, all hell bows. The time of oppression is over. Now is the time of restoration, time of harvest, time of advancement. You were not wounded to die. You were wounded to be strengthened. And what seemed like destruction will be a platform. Now close your eyes for a moment, breathe, and receive peace. This peace does not come from the world. It comes from me. It is the sign that the scenario has begun to change, and from today on, you will walk in authority. You will feel the weight of the battle lessening, because I have already released victory. And if this word found your spirit, write here in the comments, I won this war in God, as a prophetic act of closure over everything that tried to stop you. Because heaven has already decreed, the battle has been fought, and the sun remains standing. Son, you took a step today that many are afraid to take. You opened your heart, you surrendered your pain, and you accepted the process. But listen, this journey does not end here. What I have begun in this video is still just the beginning of a series of revelations that I need to release into your life. And there is something that I have not yet shown you, something that is directly connected to your family, to your blood, to your calling. Have you noticed that there are patterns repeating themselves in your story? Cycles that try to keep you in the same place, situations that seem like constant persecution. This is not a coincidence, it is spiritual, and I will reveal in the next meeting what is behind this, because the enemy is not just trying to harm you, he is trying to undermine generations that will come after you. But I have already risen as your shield, and the next word I will release will be an answer to what is trying to rise up inside your home. There are ancient promises that are about to be fulfilled. But before that, I need you to understand why your life is the turning point of your lineage. You were chosen not only for yourself, but for those who will come after you. So don't turn away. Don't miss the next word, because in it, I'm going to show you the reason for the spiritual war that began when you were still a child, and why now is the time to break away from everything that has tried to keep you here. Son, now I bless you with that which your eyes have not yet seen, but your spirit has already begun to feel. May the peace that surpasses all understanding envelop your mind, quiet your heart, and rest upon your home. May the voices of doubt be silenced, and may my voice be the only one that remains echoing in your soul in the coming days. I declare, upon you renewed clarity, inner strength, and living hope. Do not fear tomorrow, because I am already there. Do not carry the weight of the past anymore, because I have already redeemed it. Everything you need to start over has already been released from heaven. Now is the time to walk by faith, to live by revelation, and to wait with confidence. I am restoring your identity, lifting up your name, and rebuilding what seemed impossible to heal. If this word touched your soul like a divine embrace, then don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Send it to someone who also needs to hear the Father's voice. You may be the answer to someone's prayer around you. And if something inside you said, I need to keep listening to this, then sign up now. Because what I'm still going to reveal to you will open your eyes to promises that were dormant. Son, I still have more to tell you. And what comes next is something that will change the way you see your own story.